So what is blockchain? Now it's getting really difficult, so I'm going to hand over to Raj.
Thank you. First of all, it's great being here and sharing the time with such a distinguished audience. I would like to introduce or bring the context before I get into the presentation. So my journey with blockchain had started in 2014 timeframe. I had been a technology entrepreneur, had lived in the Silicon Valley for about 12 years, and had started and created several companies. In 2015, I came back to India, joined ICICI Bank as a head of innovation there, and there we proposed the first blockchain implementation between two banks. So we did India's first blockchain transaction implementation between ICICI and Emirates NBD in Dubai. In the area of trade finance and retail remittances. We created India's first consortium of banks, and so a lot of initiatives around that has gone into blockchain. Then a couple of years later, I joined HashCash as the managing director, and today HashCash operates in 4 or 5 geographies. We have offices in Dubai. We have significant operations in India. We are headquartered in the US. We have an entity in Singapore and an office there in Melbourne. We work with many large banks, and please, this is all confidential, hopefully. In different geographies, ranging from some of these are public information, so I'm going to only mention the ones that has done joint PR with us. So, for example, Alpha Bank in Russia is one of our payment implementation partner. We work with Wells Fargo in the U.S. We work with BPI in Philippines. 3 of the largest currency exchanges in the Middle East. So the bottom line is that blockchain is a technology that finds implementation in many, many areas. And this is not a thing of tomorrow. This is not the future. This is happening right now as we speak. In many industries, this has already happened, and we have done very similar use cases. And today, I think it is time that we can reap the benefits of this technology in this new industry, which is a diamond industry, in partnership with our collaborating banks. We have several of them here today. And I think the environment of trust that we would create between the banks and the diamond industry would benefit both parties and could bring in advantages and significantly lower the cost of capital, bring efficiency, reduce cost. And there are many. And diamond is not the first industry to adopt blockchain. We have pharma, we have automobiles, and we have several supply chain players that has already adopted blockchain in significant ways, and many of them are live projects today that we are working with many of our clients. In the gaming industry, it's also adopted widely, right? So with that context, I would talk about some of the, what is blockchain, right? So that's what you have on the slide today. So just a very basic understanding of what blockchain is. And so today, if let's say you want to send me $1, right, over email, you can take a picture of $1, right, and send an email to me by attaching the $, right? But that, everybody understands that, obviously. So that really means that you have a copy of that $, and I have a copy of the $, right? So what blockchain does is it establishes a transfer of value from party A to party B without the need for a third party, right, to establish the trust between these two parties. Remember, it's very different from a typical digital transaction. A lot of people think that how is blockchain different from a digital transaction, right? It's very different. A digital transaction is simply a way of managing your ledger. It's not a way of establishing trust, right? And that's what this technology brings to the table. That's what is key. The ability to establish a transfer of value and the ability to understand that that $1 that you have sent to me, you would not be able to send it to somebody else. That's called the problem of double spend, right? So you're able to ensure through the technology that you are not double spending the $1, right? That's a core value that blockchain brings. Now you should extrapolate this idea further. It's not just about currency. It could be about documents. It could be about assets, right? It could be about traceability of automobile parts. It could be about traceability of diamonds, right? So you can establish and extrapolate that idea to so many different areas. And that's why blockchain finds such a wide variety of industries that are so interested in this technology, right? At some point, we're going to take questions from the audience, and I know there are a lot of questions, a lot of curiosity, and happy to answer all of them, I think, at the end of the panel session. So what we have on the slide today is some of the benefits of blockchain as immutability, cryptographic security. The other power of blockchain is the ability to reduce fraud, and in many industries, not just in banking, in the diamond industry, in so many other industries, right? So how does that happen? Why does it, is able to reduce fraud, right? One of the things about blockchain is when you transfer a document, just like a dollar that I mentioned before, it's digitized, a hash of that is created, right? And when you want to send the document to me, that hash goes onto a ledger. So just like a transaction, a hash of a document would go onto a ledger, right? And those ledgers, which we call nodes, would sync up with each other, right? So what you see, I can see at the same moment, at the same instant, if you allow me to see that, right? So of course you have access controls. It doesn't mean that everybody has visibility of every document, right? You have access control. But then if you want me to see it, I can see it instantaneously. That's a power. Instantaneous payments, instantaneous share of documents, ability to send financial messages over a blockchain network, free of cost, right? So those are some of the advantages. So I think I'll move on to the next slide. So अभी तक hopefully आप लोगों को समझ में आया कि blockchain का क्या value है, right? And why so many industries are picking up ये technology को adopt कर रही है, right? So I think that is so far very clear. Few things इधर है जो cryptographic hashing करने से आपको fraud minimization होता है. Am I not? So अभी तक immutability एक चीज़ है जहाँ पे आप अगर hash करके एक document को डाल रहे हो blockchain ledger में, you have a public key, private key, right, pair that's used to decrypt the document at the other end, right? So इसमें क्या है कि आपको fraud minimization होगा, blockchain डॉक्यूमेंट को वैलिडेट करेगा, ऑथेंटिकेट करेगा बिफोर अदर पार्टी को सेंड किया जाएगा डॉक्यूमेंट, राइट? सो ये ऑथेंटिकेशन फ्रॉड को मिनिमाइज करेगा. एंड इम्यूटेबिलिटी का मतलब है कि जो लेजर है वो लेजर को चेंज नहीं कर सकता है कोई पार्टी, क्योंकि एक पार्टी और दूसरा पार्टी कोई भी लेजर को अपेंड नहीं कर सकता है, चेंज नहीं कर सकता है, ऑल्टर नहीं कर सकता है. अगर करता है तो इट विल गेट रिजेक्टेड by the technology, by the other nodes, right? आप सिर्फ add कर सकते हो, you cannot change it. If you, let's say एक गलत transaction चला गया, you have to reverse the transaction by और एक transaction डाल के reverse direction में. So आपका operations risk भी कम हो जाएगा, क्योंकि जो भी transaction हुआ है उसका पूरा record रहेगा, गलत transaction का भी और जो correction transaction है उसका भी record रहेगा. So कभी कभी होता है कि बैकएंड से कोई अपडेट करता है बैंक में कहीं जगह पे, वो ऑपरेशन रिस्क लाता है, राइट? सो वो चीज़ ट्रांजैक्शन इंस्टेंटेनियस कर सकते हो. सेम चीज़ डायमंड इंडस्ट्री में बैंक अगर दे ऑल्सो गेट द आइडिया दैट ये सप्लाई चेन प्लेयर डायमंड में इज एबल टू ऑथेंटिकेट डॉक्यूमेंट को ऑथेंटिकेट कर रही है, देन उसका भी ट्रस्ट बिल्ड होगा और जो कॉस्ट ऑफ कैपिटल है वो भी कम हो सकता है, राइट?
कौन सी कॉस्ट ऑफ कैपिटल किस तरह से कम होगा?
Yeah, so great question. So the idea here is if we form an ecosystem.
Yes, excuse me. Please you speak Hindi.
अच्छा, तो आप अगर बैंक्स और कुछ डायमंड सप्लाई चेन प्लेयर्स को एक प्लेटफॉर्म में लाओगे जहाँ पे ऑथेंटिकेशन एंड वैलिडेशन ऑफ डॉक्यूमेंट्स हो सकती है यूजिंग द टेक्नोलॉजी, देन जब आपको today major जो problem है bank की कि they are not able to value diamonds sometimes. They are not able to establish that trust sometimes with certain players, and that is one of the एक reason है, key reason है जिसके लिए cost of capital बढ़ रही है. अगर risk ज़्यादा है तो cost of capital ज़्यादा है. अगर risk minimize कर सकते हैं through fraud reduction, अगर risk minimize कर सकते हैं through efficient payments, right? अगर risk minimize कर सकते हैं by validation and authentication, then the cost of capital नीचे जाएगा. Risk के साथ cost of capital directly linked है. Right? I hope I answered your question. Transactions. Blockchain का transaction time depends on the consensus of the transaction, which is basically few seconds. So it's instantaneous for most practical reasons. It's an instantaneous transaction. Yeah, including document का भी transfer instantaneously होगा. एक end पे वो binary form करता है, encrypt किया जाता है, और जब आप send करना चाहते हो किसी को, वो transaction का एक hash create होता है और वो ledger में जाता है और वो sync करता है दूसरे बंदे का ledger में in a fraction of few seconds. So ग्रेट क्वेश्चन. सो एक इम्पॉर्टेंट चीज़ है कि आज हम लोग बैंकिंग के लिए वी यूज़ कुछ एक्सपेंसिव चैनल्स यूज़ करते हैं. आज हम लोग फॉर एग्जांपल स्विफ्ट यूज़ करते हैं मैसेज भेजने के लिए. सो पीपल इन दी बैंकिंग इंडस्ट्री में आप लोग जो हो उन लोगों को पता है कि देयर इज़ अ मेंबरशिप फ़ी, एंड उसके ऊपर हर ट्रांजैक्शन के लिए एक मैसेजिंग फ़ी रहता है, एनीवेयर फ्रॉम $5 to $30, राइट. सो दिस इज़ ये एक एक्सपेंसिव प्रोसेस है. और ब्लॉकचेन में क्या होगा कि ये मैसेजिंग स्विफ्ट के थ्रू जाना नहीं पड़ेगा. इस वक्त प्रैक्टिकलिटी के लिए जो प्री फंडिंग मैसेज है वो स्टिल स्विफ्ट से जाता है, बट इंट्रा डे जो मैसेजेस है वो जाने का ज़रूरी नहीं है. सेकंड है, आपका जो डॉक्यूमेंट फ्रॉड में कॉस्ट है वो भी हाई हो रहा है. और आपका जो so your question is around why the transactions, how does the cost reduce, right? Huh? So when we have जब हम लोग दो बैंक, अभी हम लोग जो काम में बिजी है कि हम लोगों का जो बैंक्स है, पार्टनर बैंक्स, उनको हम लोग नेटवर्क में ला रहे हैं कंसोर्टियम में. तो अगर आपके पास एक बैंक, हम लोग का ये जो कंसोर्टियम हम लोग बिल्ड कर रहे हैं और जो अलायंस जो बिल्ड कर रहे हैं, उसमें अगर एक बैंक दूसरा साइड पे है बॉर्डर का और एक साइड इस साइड पे है, इट डजंट मेक एनी डिफरेंस कि वो डोमेस्टिक है इंटरनेशनल है. यू कैन डू इंस्टेंटेनियस ट्रांसफर्स. सो technology doesn't care about domestic versus international. You can still do the transaction in a matter of seconds. So हम लोग जब alliance form किए थे इंडिया का, we work very closely with RBI, through the bank and after the bank, right? So we have worked with the executive director and a lot of the CGMs. We had बहुत सारा meeting हुआ था, series of meetings है. तो जो हम लोग गैदर किए हैं वो RBI is not okay with cryptocurrencies because they see that as a potential disruption of the existing financial system. But then they are very happy, उन लोगों को कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है ब्लॉकचेन अडॉप्ट करने में, और वो लोग काफ़ी एग्रेसिवली ब्लॉकचेन भी अडॉप्ट कर रहे हैं, और they are also supportive about it. Okay. So we are most of the members, हम लोगों का जो अभी जो current founding members है, बहुत सारे लोग बैंक से ही है और वर्क्स सेंट्रल बैंक से भी very closely, RBI से भी, इंडिया में और दूसरा जोग्राफी में भी बात करते हैं. So we are all about compliance, right? We are all about working with the banks and the regulators, not just in India but elsewhere.
Quickly move on to the next question for Raj. And you mentioned already a little bit your experience on what you did in India vis-a-vis Dubai and in the commodity business. So do you think technology can help restoring the trust of the finance providers in the world and why? And I think Prasan already mentioned a little bit. So what do you see in the commodities and shipping, and what was achieved, and how was it achieved, and what kind of examples have you seen in India already? Can you comment on that?
So I think, so we have been implementing use cases with banks and various corporations who are clients of those banks. And I think overall, if you talk about the restoration of trust, right? So blockchain is a technology that establishes trust, and it is built for that. It is meant to do that, right? And we have seen numerous examples in many industries where blockchain has solved this problem, removed middlemen, and made the process more efficient. पुराने ज़माने में जब इंटरनेट आया था, उस टाइम पे एक ग्रुप ऑफ एंटरप्रेन्योर्स थे जो मिडिलमैन को निकालने का ट्राई करते थे, राइट? एंड ये एफर्ट में हम लोग ने बहुत एफिशिएंट सिस्टम्स क्रिएट किए हैं. आज हम लोग बहुत सारे चीज़ें इंटरनेट के थ्रू डायरेक्ट एक बंदे से दूसरा बंदे को भेज रहे हैं, राइट? पीयर टू पीयर. बीच में जो मिडिलमैन है, जो वैल्यू ऐड नहीं कर रहा है, नॉट द वंस जो वैल्यू ऐड कर रहा है, बट द वंस जो वैल्यू ऐड नहीं कर रहे हैं, उसको हम लोग हटा सकते हैं. ब्लॉकचेन ये आइडिया को नेक्स्ट लेवल पे लेके जाती है, राइट? सो नेक्स्ट लेवल पे लेके जाती है, और आई थिंक कि ये टेक्नोलॉजी का एडॉप्शन वुड लीड टू अ वेरी एफिशिएंट सिस्टम, रिमूवल ऑफ अननेसेसरी मिडलमैन, एंड रिड्यूस कॉस्ट ओवरऑल.